Hey guys, thanks for stopping in for some more popcorn. So I know I said I was going to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next, but I just wanted to do kind of a little quick special video for Father's Day for all the dads out there, specifically for my stepdad, Michael LaCour. Hey man, I love you. Thanks for everything. Wouldn't be able to be here and do all this stuff right now without the support of you and Mom, of course. Definitely you just stepping in from day one as my father. I appreciate it, man. I love you with all my heart. So with that being said, I'm doing this video about the Adam Sandler movie, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
So Adam Sandler had a string of successful movies, especially in the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s as well. But man, that dude had a ton of success in the 90s. Right in the mid 90s to early 2000s area, I mean, he was just movie after movie, sometimes 2 to 3 movies in 1 year. Him and Jim Carrey were similar in that fashion. When Jim Carrey got really famous off of In Living Color, he signed a bunch of deals with some studios. I think it was Warner Brothers. And he just had literally, I want to say, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask were all in the same year, which is crazy. Could be wrong about that, but I think I'm right about that. Same thing with Adam Sandler. I mean, he was just having all these movies in the same year. Yeah, he did The Wedding Singer and Waterboy in 1998. While producing other movies like Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, and because he had his Happy Madison production company doing all these other different things. Dirty Work was another one. Animal with Rob Schneider. But then he did Big Daddy in 1999 and Little Nicky right after in 2000, early 2000. So it was kind of like the same year. But Big Daddy was definitely right at the height of his success. I think he was probably at the biggest when he was doing Big Daddy. As far as everybody loving him, there wasn't really many haters of Sandler yet. Now you gotta have two fields. You got people that either still love him and like his old stuff and think his new stuff's okay. Some people just think that none of the humor's held up really.
You blew it!
I think some of that's true. I think that Billy Madison, some of it is kind of silly.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
While I still like some of it because it's nostalgic, Happy Gilmore the same way. I mean, there's some scenes that are just undeniably funny.
Hey, where you going with those clubs, punk?
I know how you kids like 'em sloppy.
Lady, you're scaring us.
Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it.
My grandfather didn't build any condos with his bare hands. Damn it, I hate that Bob Barker.
Okay.
Like the opening scene in Happy Gilmore when it's just that montage when it's playing Tuesday's Gone and it's just all those pictures of his past. Man, I especially love it. That entire deal is just hilarious. Just like a lot of actors like Eddie Murphy, they start having children. They start making a family, and as fathers will do, they start making material that's a little bit more suitable for their family and their children. And honestly, I'm not a father, and I even understand that. I still do like it when they go back and do some of the other stuff, when they get a little raunchy to kind of touch back on their roots, like when Sandler did That's My Boy. It was funny. It was a little forced, not gonna lie. It was funny though. I'm one of those guys that thinks that Don't Mess with the Zohan is hilarious. I truly think it's a masterpiece. I think Turturro's funny in it. I think Swartzen's funny in it. I think Sandler's character is just priceless in it. It's very over the top. It's slapstick. It's very self-aware. It's making fun of itself. One of the things that the Sandler movies had, and when I say the Sandler movies, it really was sort of a cult of films that he had because they were very formulaic. He used the same cast all the time. He always had his group of buddies.
Fish?
Yeah.
Pony?
Yes.
Hip? Hip hop? Hip hop anonymous? Damn you! You gave him the easy ones!
There was always some sort of girl involved, whether it was he being like out of this girl's league, or she noticing him from the distance, or him going through something that puts them together in a situation where they accidentally meet. It also became that Sandler movies, it was like who was going to be the next Sandler girl, kind of like the Bond movies, like who was going to be the Bond girl. It was like who was going to be the next Sandler girl. There was always another female lead in the movie that was really popular at the time. And Drew Barrymore kind of became one of his go-to ones. I think they ended up doing 3 movies together: Blender, 50 First Dates, and Wedding Singer. So she sort of became like the main one. And I think him and Jennifer Aniston have done a few of them together now too. And Joey Lauren Adams is the lead in this movie, the female lead in this movie. She always kind of bugged me. For some reason she always bugged me. She was in Dazed and Confused, and she was in Chasing Amy and Mallrats, and She just always had this.
Welcome to high school, honey.
The fact that she was the lead, female lead in this movie, I was kind of, I would say, while this is probably one of my favorite Sandler movies, as far as it's still holding up, and it actually does something to you, it still makes you a little emotional, and that damn kid is so cute.
You don't want me here anymore?
But there's always some sort of reason that he's trying to get this girl and you're rooting for him. He's always playing a blue collar guy that's, you know, just either underrated or just not given a fair shot or been through a string of bad luck. He always has physical comedy in all of his movies to kind of alleviate some of the stress. So he does this, again, formulaic thing where he'll get you even emotional in certain movies and then alleviate it with some sort of crazy slapstick / physical comedy. One of the things I really love in this movie is the drunk old man in the bar.
Like I'm not busy?
Hey, Mr. Hurley, how about you shut up or I'll smack you through the wall like last Monday?
Last Monday was a fluke. Bring it on, woman.
Anytime.
And in the courtroom.
Koufax is a good egg. He was nice to that kid. But he fights like a girl. You're like that. I'm right here, miss. What are you gonna do about it?
What, are you drunk, Mr. Hurley?
Well, I had a few Chardonnays. What of it?
And like I said, he's always got the cast of characters that have all of his friends. And I'm sure that you guys know this, but all those guys that are constantly in every one of his movies, you can see them all in the same movies in every one of his. They're his college roommates. They all like kind of cut their teeth together in college doing a lot of the same stuff. And so Sandler's supposed to be a really, really cool guy in real life, and family and friends mean a lot to him. So he just carried the idea that I got successful, we're all successful. And so he just took everybody to Hollywood with him. And they've all had some really successful careers because of it and probably had a really good life. Another one of his motley crew of characters that comes in and out. This one's not so a part of the crew. He just comes in as sort of, oh, there's Steve Buscemi again. And Steve Buscemi plays the hobo in this one. And honestly, it's one of those jokes in the Sandler world that doesn't really hold up. It was funny when you first saw it in the theater, but rewatching it again, it's not as funny as I remember. I'm sure you all know the story where this kid gets dropped on his doorstep because it's his roommate's son that he didn't know that he had. And it gets dropped off on his doorstep while the roommate's out of town, but then he just sort of vouches for the kid for a second. It's very implausible. It would never happen in real life. Completely unrealistic. But he sort of starts vouching for the kid. And then, of course, slowly but surely, he starts to get attached. At first, he's annoyed by the kid, but he slowly but surely starts to get attached. And one of the really funny jokes I like that as he's getting attached, he's putting him asleep. But again, he's a guy that's not fit to be a father. He has no tools to help him be a father. He wasn't set up to be a father at all. He's completely a low-life bachelor, a blue-collar bachelor. But one of the really funny things I like is when he's putting the kid to sleep for the very first time, and the kid's like, I need a nightlight. And then he turns that live nudes nightlight sign on right there. That's just hilarious to me. It's like right at the beginning of the movie, you sort of get the idea of what kind of character Sandler is. When Jon Stewart, who plays his roommate, he's supposed to be getting surprised by Leslie Mann, who plays the fiance, and she's supposed to be surprising him with this party. He jumps in there, and then he's about to propose to Leslie Mann, and before he's about to do it, Sandler's character just...
Tonight because I'm about to do something that I never thought I'd have the guts to do.
You're not proposing, are you?
Yeah, that part's hilarious. I mean, immediately just laugh out loud funny right there. But man, the kid in this is so cute. I mean, God, so cute.
What's your name? Frankenstein.
I guess it's a set of twins that played it, and both of them played the role. They just went off and on, because they're kids. They can't work like adults can. But hey, if you got twins like that, you can utilize them and still kind of get the same amount of time out of them as you would an adult, because you got two of them instead of one. But man, he's so cute. And he says so many different things that are just cute in this. Most people have funny one-liners here and there. This kid's actually got a lot of really sweet one-liners.
30 packets of ketchup. But I want my own ass. Layla, if you don't come over to Sonny's apartment tonight, there's a good chance that I'll develop a stutter. Papa, please don't do this to me.
But man, one of the parts that just kills me is, I'm sure you guys remember, he has this thing that he wants to do where he wants to play the kangaroo song and dance around with the kangaroo song. And one part he does it, and he ate a bunch of cereal beforehand and everything. And it's at, you know, we already saw the scene where he drops all the milk on the ground and they put the newspaper all over the milk, and he's fine with that. But then he eats all this cereal and then wants to play the kangaroo song, and then he dances around, and then he just throws up everywhere.
Come and wine? Well, what do you say?
Douchebag kangaroo.
I go hop, hop.
What happened there? You're all hopped out?
Then when he does that, you know, you sort of get this idea that this is this annoying thing that the kid does that Adam Sandler's not going to like. So the kangaroo song thing is kind of embedded in your head. And then later on in the movie, the kid gets taken away from him, spoiler alert. And when the kid's walking away and he starts saying, I won't play the kangaroo song anymore. Oh my God.
Please don't make me go.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what else to do.
I won't play the kangaroo song anymore.
Come on. Just go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Come on.
I don't want to go. I promise. I'm sorry. I don't even like that song anymore.
I know, pal. That's not it.
Yeah, a tearjerker right there. But then him and the kid get to do all kinds of fun stuff together, like, hey, the bright side about being up at 11 o'clock is before 11 we'd get to go get McDonald's breakfast, which I remember in the theater thinking that was wrong. Like, no, it's 10:30. And then, of course, when they get there in the movie theater, when they get there in the movie, it is 10:30 and they're way too late. The kid starts crying and everything.
No, don't cry. I'm sorry. I wasn't cursing at you. I was cursing at the lady.
Nice parenting.
Hey, thanks. Are you my therapist? Take a walk. You want a happy meal?
Also, another person in this movie is Christy Swanson. Man, I had such a huge crush on her when I was a little kid, especially when I saw her in that movie, The Chase, with Charlie Sheen. He finds out later that she leaves him for this old man. And that scene is hilarious, especially refers to the old balls.
Come on.
You know, deep down, you must have known this day was gonna come.
Hey, you just made the biggest mistake of your life, baby. I know you're gonna be missing me when you got that big, white, wrinkly body on top of you with this loose skin and old balls. Gross.
But there's also a really cute scene with the little kid, right? It tells the kid when he puts these sunglasses on that nobody can see him, so he doesn't have to be nervous. He's invisible. I remember when I saw this, this little kid walking in with his sunglasses through the door thinking he's invisible. That was just so cute to me. Again, this kid is super cute in this, or the twins. There's also some really funny jokes that they talk about and refer to. There's ongoing jokes about Hooters because Corinne, Jon Stewart's fiance, used to work at Hooters, and there's a whole Hooters joke with Sid, the old man that his ex-girlfriend's dating too. You get to see that at the end. But again, they were crude jokes a lot of the times. They were kind of crossing the boundaries between a little too crude but not too crude. But then they had huge moral tones involved with them, sort of like Bygone Jim moments to where it would really touch your heart. Especially at the end of this one where there's this huge courtroom scene, which is so unrealistic, completely unbelievable. No courtroom would ever operate like this.
I am in love with a beautiful girl who makes plenty of it. She'll be my sugar mama.
Oh, I gotta get me one of those.
Sandler also always had really good soundtracks in all of his movies, and even so much to where that was the time where soundtracks were really hot to sell. So, I mean, they would sell those and market those just like they would the movies, kind of like when I talked about the Batman movie. But yeah, he always had a bunch of great songs and really focused really hardcore on the soundtracks a lot. That was kind of a big deal in all of his movies, a staple, part of the formula, if you will. Another funny part with the kid is when they're walking around that restaurant and going in to ask that guy if they can use the bathroom. And then he, of course, denies them because he's being a prude. And they go outside, and then they end up, it shows them that classic scene. It's actually the cover of the movie where they're peeing on the side of the building. That was pretty funny and cute at the same time. Oh, yeah, and then when they're trick-or-treating, and then they get knocked on that one guy's door, and he just won't answer. And so, of course, it shows Adam Sandler walking around the other side and coming in from behind the guy and scaring the crap out of him. And next thing you know, he's coming to the door and giving, like, CDs to the kid and just all these different things that the kid doesn't really want, and then he ends up giving him his own watch. So yeah, the movie's unrealistic on so many levels, like the way they handle the child protection services and all that stuff. None of that stuff would ever really go down like that. And the same with the courtroom scene at the end. And it's a super, super, uber duper happy ending. But I mean, again, that's what the movie was going for. And it was trying to make you feel good and have some laughs at the same time and just have a really good, fun-going movie experience. Not to think too hard. Nothing that, got to you emotionally, but the good emotional side of you, not to the part to where it made you feel stressed out or anything. Again, one of the better Sandler films, in my opinion. It still holds up. You should check it out. It's honestly a good feel-good Father's Day movie. It's kind of one of those you wouldn't really think of it as a Father's Day film, but it is. It's about a guy realizing that he, could be a father. It could change his life. And at the end of the day, isn't that kind of what fatherhood's about? Thanks to all the dads, and thanks, Michael LaCour. I appreciate you, buddy. That's my stepdad. Love you with all my heart, and happy Father's Day. And happy Father's Day to Mr. BrassReel as well, on behalf of BrassReel Brothers as a whole. Appreciate it. Remember, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorn.